You were a born entertainer. There's no other way to describe it, wasn't it? I mean, from an early age, you just craved the limelight, didn't you? Why were you so determined to be a star, do you think?
I have no idea. I don't know, I was just born that way. My mum said I was screaming the minute I came. There's only my head out, I was singing. I don't know. I mean, there's a family history of, you know, wanting to be in the entertainment. You know, my dad was in a band called Ricky and the Dominant Four. He was one of the Dominant Four, by the way. Although how dominant he was, I have no idea, Mum.
And were you soon at school and stuff doing performances and things? Were you always in the school play and so on?
Always in the school play, always.
We have a few pictures, actually, of you in your glorious early days.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
Which could be quite amusing.
Oh, no! I'm going to kill you.
I'm actually thinking a young Deirdre Barlow, there.
It was just before, I think, my dad and my mum took me around London with cassettes of my singing. And so we had photos done. That put them right off.
What was the grimmest place you ever had to perform?
Oh, God, there's been a few. I don't remember the names of them, but we did... In Blakely, in Manchester.
What happened?
Some fella punched this woman in the face.
While you're performing?
Yeah, and they started having a proper fist fight. And they had to take me upstairs and get me out of the way.
What were you thinking?
I was terrified. Daddy!
Was it your singing that prompted this?
Maybe.
We've obviously seen a glimpse of you as a younger performer, but let's take you right back to the beginning.
OK.
When Kym was growing up, she absolutely loved being the centre of attention.
Well, we used to go to a Labour club on a Sunday dinner time. It was like a free and easy afternoon, you know, and people could just get up and sing.
So we took Kym along with us, and she's pulling on her dad, you know, I want to sing, Dad.
We were saying, no, it's not for little girls, it's for adults. Anyway, she got up and she brought the house down.
She sung Living Doll, Cliff Richard.
And we just all sort of looked at each other and, you know, it was a real shock. This little girl, and she belted this song out. It's brilliant.
Every week then, they were all wanting, get that little one up, get that little one up. I had outfits made for her and everything, and I've still got all these outfits, little tiny tops and that. I've kept them all.
Kym had found her talent in life, but at home things weren't going so well.
I run out of work and my business sort of fell apart, really. And I had to sell my house to get out of the mess that I was in, you know. And so, obviously, we moved into a council house.
It knocked Kym for 6, and, you know, she found it hard, I think.
Kym, although she carried on with her singing, she went into different shows and things like that, you know. It wasn't happy. It wasn't happy times being in that house.
Moving home meant a new school, and ambitious Kym just didn't fit in.
She said she was happy, you know, she told everyone she was OK, except me. She told me what was going on. She had an awful time. She went to senior school being bullied.
She did say to me, Mum, I don't like it, they call me names and all this, and she really wasn't happy, making excuses why she didn't want to go to school.
Despite the taunts, Kym found solace in her singing, and she was spotted by a local producer who recorded a single with her when she was just 13.
She wasn't interested in having friends, and she wanted, you know, she was interested in going, doing a singing, doing a dancing. And that was it. And, you know, if people didn't like her for it, but that was Kym's choice, you know, and it's paid off.
How bad did the bullying get for you?
It got really bad. It got really bad. I mean, it's hard enough going to a senior school anyway, you know. I used to dread walking down that path every day, you know. I would, you know, be called names, money taken off me. I had my skirt lifted up in the playground in front of everybody. And there's nothing as cruel as kids, you know, at all. I mean, it was really hard. I thought it was my fault for a while. I thought it was my fault because I didn't fit in with everybody else and I was different.
Can you remember the bullies' faces?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Have you ever bumped into them?
I've seen them across the street and they've gone, "Hi, Kym!" Which was just like, ugh. They should be ashamed of themselves. That's shameless. That's just that's just wrong.
Yeah, but when they said that and you realised that their lives were whatever they were, but you've gone on to such great things, did you feel proud of yourself, really, that you come through their bullying?
No, do you know what? I felt nothing. I lived my life as I wanted to live it. I always have. Yeah, I was bullied, and it was the worst experience of my entire life, but it's made me stronger.
You released this single when you were 13.
Yeah.
Where the voice, to put it mildly, was a little on the dodgy side from what I was hearing.
Thanks very much.
Can you remember that record?
I thought it was marvellous.
Can you remember it?
Yeah, I do remember
Can we have a little rendition?
Oh.
Just a little burst, yeah.
One kiss, too late, means another could take my place. Minus the ponytail.
Because of the problems you'd had at the secondary schools, you were sent to drama school to escape. There you kind of had a different kind of pressure, didn't you?
I really didn't like being at drama school. I didn't like being at stage school. I felt that we were being cloned. It was like everyone had to be a certain way, and if they weren't a certain way, then it was not acceptable.
And what was the way?
Well, all the best dancers seemed to be really thin, and, you know, and I was, you know, I've always had I'm not a fat girl, but I've always had an athletic type figure rather than being skinny. I'm not skinny. I'm never going to be skinny, nor do I want to be now.
Did you feel pressure at the time to be skinny?
Back then, yeah, I did feel a lot of pressure to be one of the skinny girls. It felt like those girls were always chosen to stand at the front and to do the routines. And
so to get on, you had to look like them, and that meant to be skinny.
I felt that way. Clearly it wasn't, but that's the way that I felt.
And you began to suffer from bulimia.
Yeah. I was making myself sick. I was putting my fingers down my throat. I took a couple of laxatives a few times. I was binge eating. And, you know, it made me feel better when I did that, because I thought, oh, right, this is, you know, I'm going to be one of these girls, and I'm going to show everybody, and I'm beautiful, you know. But I hated the fact that I was telling lies to my parents. And I knew that it was wrong. I knew it was wrong. And I remember watching a film about Karen Carpenter. Karen Carpenter's my absolute idol. And I watched her life story, and at that point I didn't know what she'd actually died of. And it was all down to her eating disorder that weakened her heart. And somehow it kind of gave me that jolt, and therefore I was able to stop.
Do you feel that when you had children for the first time, did you start to feel better about yourself because you had somebody else come along that you had to really put all your energy into?
When I fell pregnant with David, I was 18 years old, and at the time, when you're 18, you know, you feel like you're a grown-up and you know it all. And looking back, obviously, I've got nephews that are 18, and I think, God, if I was a baby. And obviously, it wasn't planned. But I wanted him. I wanted, you know, it felt right for me. I was, you know, it was what I wanted to do.
And you split up from his dad fairly soon after that.
I was 21 when I had Emily, and then she was a year old when me and Dave split up.
Why did that split happen, do you think, looking back on it?
We just weren't compatible. Sadly, we weren't compatible, you know.